Hello, I'm Kym Zest, and this here is Pigeon, and Will is behind the computer running the show. Welcome to Pajama Yin Yoga. See, there are 3 of you tuned in. Thank you. For those of you starting with us right on time, I will share that Will and I did a really big training week. We've logged 20 some hours each of athletic training this week, and we are pooped. I'm so tired. I will try not to fall asleep while on camera. But this is exactly why I do this yin practice. Is the reason I fell in love with yin yoga is because it is a perfect counter to my athletic training. So if you joined early and you're doing some foam rolling, feel free to continue to do so throughout this intro. Otherwise, you might use this time to finish setting up. I won't be playing any music on my end of the camera, but you're welcome to on yours. Might drown out my creaky floor or pigeon meowing or purring into the microphone, which I try not to have her do. You might also use this time to gather more props. I'm a big fan of having lots of props for yin yoga. So soft, flexible props. Yoga mats work. I'm a fan of blankets. I've got several folded blankets. Towels also are good props. And then some soft, thicker props. I've got these pillows off my couch. And then some stiffer props. I've got yoga blocks and a foam roller, but books, Tupperware work, and then all sorts of other things, other pieces of furniture, footstools, other pieces of soft goods around your house like belts or straps or whatever else, other pieces of athletic equipment, yoga balls, elastic straps, you name it. Get creative with your props, grab anything and everything in your environment. It's all fair game. So tonight we'll begin with a short movement flow followed by a seated meditation. We'll do 3 yin poses before final relaxation. You are always welcome to substitute a movement, an exercise, a meditation, and then there will always be transition time between yin poses for movement or stillness of your choice. During this time, there's no right position or correct alignment of traditional poses because there's no force applied, no progression goal. It's whatever makes your body feel better, wherever you need to be to soften and release some tension. For each yin posture, I'll demonstrate several different setups for you to feel lines of fascial tension, that connective tissue. I'll begin with minimal props and a somewhat simple setup, and then add variations and propping. While I demonstrate, that's your time to explore different props, different variations. Even if you've done it so many times before, you never know how just getting started in a different sequence, moving in a different way, it might just feel better on any given day. While after my demonstration, I'll return to a seated position to watch the time for 2 to 3 minutes. The posture you settle into to stay in should feel safe to release all muscular holding and effort while experiencing quiet sensations. This is a practice of patience, stillness, and subtlety. Let's begin. Which unfortunately means moving pigeon. And I'm going to move some of my props. And who knows what else you need to do. We're going to start on hands and knees in sort of a downward dog position as our starting place. Oh, pigeon, you're such a good girl. We're going to try to put you on your special prop, the pigeon prop. Oh, but you know, she's a cat, so you never know. Okay, so I'm gonna do hands and knees over a pad. So my hands and feet are on my hardwood floor, which my hands and feet stick to just fine. And I'm gonna lift my hips up. I'm gonna find any variation of downward dog. So we want a nice long stretch in the upper body through the shoulders. So if the knees are bent and the heels are lifted, so that you can feel a nice long line through your shoulders, That's fine, nothing wrong with that. If you have straighter legs or want to pedal out the feet to get a little more stretch in the back of the legs, just don't straighten the legs to the point that we become into a plank shape. Keep the hips high, and a big stretch in the shoulders. Then I'm going to take one leg, lift it high up, reaching up high, and then I'm going to bring my knee forward, driving forward as far forward as I can, compressing in my abs, then reaching my heel up towards the ceiling. Inhale here, exhale, compress and drive forward. Inhale, extend and open. Exhale, curl up tight. Inhale, lengthen, expand. Exhale, drive. Flowing at your own pace, with your own breath. And after another round or two, whenever you're ready, after driving forward, place your knee and shin on the ground. Place the back knee on the ground. And then settle in so that you might just stay on the hands, relax the head, but allow your chest to come as far forward as is comfortable. Right, and we're not a yin posture, we're not adding props. If this is just higher up for you, that's just fine. If your hip is higher up, totally okay. But settle down as far as is comfortable for you. And then we're going to lift up, and if you need a little support from your hands, great, but otherwise you can go hands free. And you can press into the ground with your shin, press into the ground with your back knee, squeezing the inner thighs together, lifting up, opening the chest, and then gently lowering down. Feel free to use your arms as support. Again, you can be completely hands-free or use arms as assistance. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, engage the thighs, press into the ground with your knees and legs and shins. Exhale, sink in. Flowing at your own pace, perhaps moving slower, perhaps moving quicker. Taking another round or two. When you're ready, coming out, you might lie on your belly, you might come to hands and knees. Take any transition that feels right for you. I'm going to transition by scritching pigeon's head. And when you're ready, we'll do the other side. So coming back into hands and knees. Lifting up into your downward dog, taking a little bit to pedal out the feet, or make your adjustments. Finding the downward dog that feels right for you today. Lift the other leg, whichever leg you didn't do first. Find long length, engaging the legs, stretching, reaching up. And then driving the knee forward, compressing the knee up towards your chest, driving the shoulders forward. And then inhale, reaching, extending. Exhale, compressing, driving forward. Finding your own rhythm, finding your own shapes, finding balance between stretch and strength. Taking another round or two. And when you're ready, coming forward, placing your knee and or shin on the ground, placing the back leg on the ground, taking your time to settle in, finding wherever it is for you, if that's higher up or further down, wherever your lowest, most comfortable spot is. No force. And then perhaps using your arms as assistance, or without your arms, lifting up, pressing into the ground with your knees, inner thighs, lifting up and open, and then gently sinking back down, lowering the torso. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. Using your arms as much support as feels right for you. Flowing at your own pace. Taking another round or two. When you're ready, transitioning however feels right for you. Lie on the floor in a neutral place. You can choose any other counter movement. Or again, if you have a fuzzy companion, spending a little time giving your fuzzy companion a little love. It's also therapeutic. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to get set up for the meditation. And for this, you just want to sit in a really comfortable position with as minimal physical distraction as possible. So if a chair is a good place for you to meditate, go for it. Sit in a chair as long as your feet can be on the ground and tall, upright spine. If you're on the floor, you can sit with your legs extended out, your legs folded underneath you, or your legs crossed. If you are on the ground, I really suggest sitting propped up on something. And it might be just a blanket or a pillow, bolster, something bigger or smaller, but propping your hips up even a little bit gives your hips and knees a little bit more room. And then taking any other props that might make you feel just a little more comfortable. We'll be sitting still for about 5 minutes. So taking your time, getting yourself set up. Palms can be down, up, or clasped in your lap. Eyes closed or a soft, steady gaze on the floor in front of you. As you settle into stillness, allow yourself to observe what is there without need to respond. It might be things in your environment, noticing sounds in the background, or the temperature, objects. It might be things on your body, sensations in your body. It might be thoughts or feelings that arise. And amongst all of these ever-shifting distractions, things that pull at your mind, at your attention, let your breath be a soothing constant. When you find your mind getting pulled down a different path, simply come back to your breath. It is always there for you. breath. And then nod your chin towards your chest. Opening your eyes, reintroducing movement, perhaps rolling the neck, the shoulders, perhaps doing some twisting or side bending. Get set up for our first yin posture. I'm just going to slide just about everything out of my way, and we're going to require at least one prop. So I'm going to start with my block. But if you don't have a block, not only books work, like I said, books and Tupperware, but even just rolled up blankets, rolled up other things, stacking pillows are other examples that would work really just as well. So I'm going to use this guy for simplicity. So lying on my back with my feet on the ground and knees pointed up towards the ceiling. I'm going to engage my glutes, squeezing my glutes together, pressing my feet into the ground, lifting my hips, and then slide an object, any object, underneath my hips. And I want this to be supporting my tailbone, my sacrum, basically as low down on your spine as you can, as far away from your head as possible. So keep scooting it away from you. And then I'm going to take one leg and bring it up towards my chest. I'm going to hold on to my knee, and you could hold on to your thigh, or you could use a strap or a blanket or anything else to just help you hold on to your leg. Right, in this case, I can just hold on to my pants. So holding on to one leg, I'm going to take the other leg and extend it down. And what I'm looking for is a gentle line of stretch, of fascial stretch, so not using my muscles at all, in the front of the extended leg. So looking for this hip flexor area, possibly down towards the knee, and then possibly up towards my ribs. So if I hold on with one arm, I might choose to extend the other arm overhead. And then other options on changing this is I can change the angle of the leg. I could certainly add a prop underneath the supported leg or the extended leg. I could return the other foot to the ground and change the height of my prop. So higher, that's definitely too high for me, but higher or even lower. And then you can get creative as well. And one of the things I really love is using something other than my arm to hold up my leg. I'm just going to slide to use my bookshelf. Lifting my hips. And I can use my bookshelf to hold my leg up. And now I can even, in a relaxed way, hold my leg up in a different position. More extended, further in, opening up. So exploring lots of options, and you might discover other things that you might prop yourself based on how your body feels, or how what you have available to you, what you're around. I've done variations of this lying on my bed with my extended leg hanging off the edge of the bed. So get creative, using this time to explore some different options. And then at some point, letting go of the fidgeting, finding a position that you feel safe in, feel supported in. And when you're there, allowing yourself to be at rest, allowing for a very gentle, very passive stretch. With each breath, releasing a little more tension, finding a little more softness and space. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And then use these breaths to gently come out of the posture, taking the extended leg, bending it in. The leg that is closer to your torso, whether you're holding it or it's propped up, bringing it back down to the floor. With both feet on the floor and knees bent, very carefully re-engage your core, bracing in the core, squeezing the glutes, pressing into the ground to lift the hips, sliding the object out of the way and bringing in the hips back down. Taking any transition that feels right for you. You might let the knees just fall in and lay in a resting position. You might choose more active counter movement, letting the hips sway side to side, hugging the knees in, extending the legs up. Anything goes. When you're ready, no rush, you'll set up the other side. I'll just walk through it a little bit quicker this time, but remember that this side is a different side for you and it might end up needing something different. So don't rush to just get in exactly the same position you were in before. Take your time to explore this side as an independent option. So we start with the feet on the ground, knees up, and then engage the glutes, press into the ground, lift the hips, slide the object underneath your hips, make sure it's as low as it can go, and then picking up one leg, hugging in, finding where it wants to be, supporting that leg, and then other leg extends, finding its angle. It might not even want to extend all the way, just finding the place where you feel that gentle release in the front of the extended leg. Oftentimes with yin, in my experience, is that I might have to go to the point where I'm like, oh, there's a stretch, and then I come out of it just a little bit. For me, if I go to the place where I'm like, yeah, there's a good stretch, that's actually more intense, and I'm using muscular effort to get myself into that stretch. So if I come out, back off a little bit, that's a place that I can really relax and stay. And with staying, we get a very different experience than an active stretch. Active stretches are great as well, but this is not that practice. This is a practice of releasing passively. So having found the position for this side of your body, release effort and movement. Settle into your breath. Every time you find your mind wandering away or tension creeping back in, breathe a little space. Let your breath be all that you need. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Use these longer, deeper breaths to perhaps help you savor where you have landed or help you transition out of this posture. It's always important in Yin Yoga to transition gently and slowly. After spending a couple minutes trying to get all the muscles to relax and be passive. It's important to wake them up and use them gently. So whether you take an active transition or something in neutral and stillness, it's not a better or worse, or right or wrong. We're going to get ready for our next yin posture. And I hope pigeon's not too much in the way here. Although you probably enjoy looking at her more than me, and she's an excellent guide. For this yin posture, we've got a couple options. I'm going to start without any props. Two basic options are to have the soles of the feet together and knees out, and allow your spine to relax and fold forward. Other option is to have the legs extended and again falling forward. In both cases, propping the hips up just generally tilts you forward and finds a different angle. So if you're like me and don't have a lot of forward flexibility here, I feel like I need to use muscular contraction to get myself to feel anything at all. So raising my hips, raising my hips gives me a little more room to let gravity assist me into the stretch. And you might choose something fairly low. You could go as high up as sitting in a chair. So whatever works for you. If you are in a chair, there's nothing wrong with having the knees bent and the feet flat on the ground. You might also choose to support the heels. And I'm facing my bookshelf because I also, scooting forward, like to support underneath my feet. And then if you are propped up with your hips, and in this case I'm going to even prop up even higher, you might choose to prop underneath the knees. This position, you might really enjoy the weight of your head and your shoulders rounding forward. That might extend the line of fascial stretch from not only the inner groin and the inner thighs, but also along the spine and into the back of the neck and the forehead. But it might also get too intense, so you can also prop the forehead. And not only can you angle the legs closer or wider apart, same goes with having the feet soles of the feet together. I could have the soles of the feet together and really far out, or closer in. Can still prop underneath the knees, and can still have an option for the forehead. So giving yourself that time to get yourself set up. And then whether you're there already or making your final adjustments, settle into stillness. Allowing yourself to get lost in watching the internal sensations shifting, changing. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. Noticing where you have ended up, what changes took place without any effort on your part. When you're ready, gently transitioning out, perhaps using your arms to help your legs come out of the position. And as always, taking any movement or stillness that feels right for you. So, for our last yin posture, no one can see your sweet face. There we go. For our last yin posture, we're going to lie down on our backs. And we've got a lot of options here, so I'm going to run through them without any props. Actually, I'm not going to use any props on this demonstration at all, but always remember that when you find the position you want to be in, use whatever props that make sense for your position so that you won't have to hold yourself in an awkward position. You want to feel like you can really be supported and restful. So, starting with knees on the ground, I'm going to take some crossing options. So I've got right leg over left. My options for the cross are either sort of a loose cross, just ankle over knee, or a tighter cross, knee over knee, or any variation thereof. I can choose those two options, and then I can choose to lie my legs down just straight to the side. Or I might choose to point my knees away from me, kicking my foot out to the side, laying my legs down but away from my torso. Or I might choose from this position to pick my grounded foot up towards and bring my knees up towards my chest, and then lay my knees down on their side. In any of these positions, and I'll just do the looser cross, right? Whether I'm at the looser cross away, directly to the side, or up towards my chest, I might play with what I do with my arms or where I position my head. Depending on how you set this up, you might feel more stretch and long lines of that connective tissue in the outer thighs or quads, hips. Depending on the angle of your legs, you might feel more through the torso, through the chest, through the shoulder. Lots of options here. And then I would prop on knees, ankles, hips, shoulders, elbows, head, all sorts of places in which you might need support depending on how you choose to place yourself. So now, feeling supported, allow yourself to sink into the floor and your props. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Using your breath to help you feel this position. Notice the sensation of the movement of a deeper breath. When you're ready, coming out and taking any transition that feels right for you. And then when you're ready, setting up your other side. So just fairly quickly as a review, remember, try the different positions on the other side. Ankle over knee or knee over knee. with either of those. Letting the legs fall directly to the side, letting the legs fall down away from you, or letting the legs come up close to your chest. Playing with those different options, seeing where on this side of your body you need the emphasis. And then once you've found that, playing with head and arm positions and support and propping. Each minute, each breath, a renewed opportunity to let go of tension, to find space and peace. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. Using this breath to help you come out. And we'll be transitioning into our final relaxation. We won't have a very long one today, so if it's your favorite part, just get there faster. But if you need a little extra movement, a little something more vigorous before the relaxation, that's fine as well. Just giving you the heads up that we won't be in it for super long. So whether you're taking some extra movement for your final relaxation before the relaxation, or perhaps you're tucking underneath a blanket and supporting your body nice and cozy, propping up your knees or your head, perhaps covering the eyes. Now taking this time to be at peace, to be at ease. Letting your breath be the anchor for your attention. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And then reintroducing movement, wiggle fingers and toes. Spread those fingers and toes and squeeze them in tight. Rolling wrists and ankles. Then stretch out long and big on the floor before you curl in tight as a ball. And then roll over onto your side. And from your side, use your arms to help you gently sit up. Finding a comfortable seated position. We'll conclude with 3 breaths together. Together we will inhale through the nose and exhale audibly out the mouth. Together, inhale. Inhale through the nose. One more. Thank you to the 7 of you who joined me this evening. YouTube just shows us a number, so it's always really lovely when we get a little interaction, so feel free to just say hello in the live chat. And then I have a couple of announcements to make. First is that we will be here next week, but in the following week, that's the 14th, we will be on vacation. So there will not be a live Yin Yoga, but remember that all the past Yin Yogas, all the previous live recordings are available on our YouTube channel. So go ahead and watch an older one, maybe one that you've missed. So that'll be available. And then we can only do this with people's active support. Oh, pigeon. We can only do this with people's active support, and there are several options for that. One is you can become a sustaining member on Patreon for just $10 a month. It's patreon.com/zested. And Patreon members make this possible for us to continue doing this. Oh God, pigeon. Going to step on the microphone. So Patreon members also get bonus videos. So just today we posted 2 bonus videos, a sort of plantar fascia stretch series, as well as a little movement snack with glute activation. So that's Patreon to support us. You can also just do a one-time donation to paypal.me/zested. Even just $5 shows your support. But you don't have to spend any money at all. It's wonderful just to get feedback and communication and some engagement. So you can email me at kym@zested.net. Nothing like some pigeon distraction. Yeah, email me. Oh, follow us on Facebook or Instagram, or you can go to our website for getting on our mailing list. Pigeon, we're almost done. Don't you want to say goodnight to everyone? So thank you for joining us. Have a peaceful night. Pigeon is apparently ready to be off camera.